What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everyone doing out there this evening? Welcome to another live version of Real Talk for Real Men. I am your host, Lee Black, and this is your first time joining us. I think we got a treat for you tonight. But I've got a really special show planned for tonight, but I hope everybody's off to a great week. This is a shortened week for a holiday, and I'm delighted to come to you guys and be able to share some content with you. And as I bring on my host, we got something, my guests, I should say, hopefully you guys tune in, but you've got a few moments, as the people are coming in, I got some special panel for you guys. So call somebody, tell somebody, send them a messenger, text, tell them to tune in. This is going to be a special show, and I think the ladies are really going to enjoy it. You can find us on TFG Ratchet, TFG Uncut on YouTube and Facebook. And so pop in, tell your friends, get your popcorn. And even if you're watching this after the fact, share the show with everybody else. So let me start bringing in my guests as they're coming in. This is Mr. TFG himself, Mr. Lamb Liberty.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, just hanging.
Yes, sir. Well, we certainly appreciate you blessing us with your time. In case you folks don't know, the content that you get from TFG, this is the brainchild right here. This is the man that makes it happen. And my show, I'm proud to be a part of. Just one of the smokes in the wheels from all the things he's got going on. The real estate insider, sports, news, politics, religion, you name it, he does it. So anytime I have this brother on, it's something good happening, something special. So appreciate you, Brother Lamb.
Problem. So,
And then you will recognize Mr. Kenny. This is my brother from another mother all the way from Texas. What's going on, Brother Ken?
What's going on, my brothers? How we all doing this Wednesday evening?
Man, we making it, my brother. We're 6 feet above ground, so we doing all right. How about you?
Oh, man, it's hump day. I'm trying to find something to hump on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand the sentiment. And if you guys didn't watch my little thing, not all good pussy is good pussy, but I'm just going to say. All right. That ought to tell you what you're in store for. I got my other young partner, my brother from North Carolina. This is Mr. Burt. What's going on, partner?
Hey, what up? What up? How y'all doing, man? How y'all feel?
Man,
What
we
up,
are
Burt?
here. We are here. We're live and living color. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. Getting past this hump day. I'm ready to get things going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, we're going to allow a few more minutes to get a couple of stragglers in. I've invited a few other guests. This is CP time, so we'll give them a couple of minutes. You know how that goes. So there's not going to be any women on the panel tonight. TMM says good evening. Good evening, TMM.
Evening,
Appreciate
TM.
you. So for the women that are watching, and I hope you are, I'm asking one thing of you: be active. Active participants. I want you to, challenge us, ask questions. This is going to be a conversation that I think you're going to be heavily vested in. And so I do think we're going to have a good group tonight. Brother Charles, if you'd like to come on live, come on, my partner. The link is out there. I can send it to you separately. Say the word, you coming on. The open invitation tonight is for brothers. If you've got something to say, if you've ever been holding it in, this is the time to come on and say it, because this is the space where you can do it. With TFG Ratchet, TFG Uncut, it's going to be no holds barred. We're going to talk grown folks conversation, and we're going to get this thing popping here in just a moment. Like I said, I want to give about 2 more minutes. So hopefully I have a couple of my other brothers joining. If not, they'll pop in late, and we're going to do what we do as always. But to get this thing started, let me tell you guys the title of the show, and I always try to give you a little backstory in terms of how I came at that title. Today's show is going to be called Bow to an Empty Throne. And this is going to be an all-male panel, and it's going to be a symposium on the state of affairs between Black men and Black women. I didn't want to make it so broad that we're talking about in general. This is very specific, and there is a reason why. I don't know if you guys have been following what's been going on in social media lately, and you really don't need to look any further than TFG's his and hers relationship perspectives, and you can get all the tea you ever want to drink about what's happening between black men and black women in the state of affairs.
Absolutely.
So even as we get into this, I want to ask you guys, as we're waiting on a couple of guests, what do you think the health is right now when you look at the state of affairs between brothers and sisters? I'm gonna keep it so raw between black men and black women. Anybody, y'all know how we do it.
I think it's fractured, to be totally honest with you. I think we're in a confused state of our positions as it relates to men and women, black men and women in particular, in relationship, in household, just overall.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that for now.
I agree. Anybody want to add something to that, please?
Yeah, I agree, but I think it really needs to be resuscitated. You know, it just seems like a lot of times I think we're at odds for no reason whatsoever, and I think that it's more or less the minority of our group. It seems like it's taken over, like it's the majority of the males or females, when it's really not that way.
I'm
That's
so
why I
glad
think
you
it's
said that, because we all know that sometimes the loudest motherfuckers in the room is not the consensus, but that's the voice that gets heard. We know how media works, you know,
Right.
clickbait and this and that, when in reality, probably more people feel the exact opposite. So I love that you said that. And that's why I wanted to do this, you know, because I wanted to put together an eclectic group of brothers to talk about what's really happening out here. So thank you for sharing that, Brother Bird. Brother Kenny, what you think what's going on out here?
Oh, I definitely think the relationship is on life support. If you talk about health, I
Wow.
think it's on life support. And I think the biggest thing is I see it on social media all the time, black men and black women. We don't listen to understand each other. We listen to respond. So it's all about who's right. I want to be right. Rather than be happy, or rather try to make a positive relationship, I'd rather be right and be by myself. So
Beautiful.
that's where I think the state of
Beautiful
our
point.
relationships are. So
That's another beautiful point, my brother, because of social media, now everybody like assholes have an opinion, and they're going to get their opinion out there no matter what, and fuck what you got to say. And so I agree. And that you said, you know, it's on life support. I agree. When I look out here and I look at what's going on in the dating scene, I've been saying this for a while. It's not getting better, it's getting worse, you know. And as we keep moving the needle and hoping that things will get better, they're not. TMM says it's strained. A lot of people are unwilling to bend on both sides. And I
right,
love that
right.
point of view, that it's
Mhm.
not just women, it's not just men. Both sides are standing their ground. But why did I call this bow to an empty throne? I called it that because I think, unlike any other time before in history, women, they running shit, they ruling shit. You know,
Yeah,
contrary to, you know, all of the things we hear out there. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be a disparity in pay and shit like that. You know, we're not talking about that. But in terms of the come up, the flat out come up, especially when talking about black women, look around, guys. We don't rule the roost anymore. You don't get to pick and choose. Those days of grabbing a woman by the arm and get, those days are over. They're running shit. They are on the throne. So the question I want to ask for them, and we're going to talk about it, is, now that you are in power, what are you going to do that's different to improve matters? Because the line has been for so long that men do shit. We've done it our way. And yes, we fucked it up. You know, we not haven't made things better. But since now you're in that position where you're calling the shots, you're the one, you're notching your belt the same way we used to do it. You're just as doggish as we are. We're going to talk about all these things in a real way. And I want to, and I want to pose it through this conversation for the women to be able to tell us, you know, what do they plan to do differently, if anything? Welcome, Jay. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah.
Hey, what up, Jay? Good. You're a little low,
I
brother.
don't know if we can hear you, partner.
You look.
We can't hear you at all. So as you're going to get that together, absolutely. So we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead on and get started. And I got a couple more people that I hope will pop in. And so, but I want to throw something out there to you guys, and we're going to have a couple of interesting takes here. But I wanted to set the ground rules really quickly in case this is people watching the show for the first time. The mission of Real Talk has always been very simple. We're going to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. So here's what you won't see tonight. We won't be yelling and screaming and getting at each other's throats. Believe it or not, we all like each other. And this is a group that for some of us, we've never physically met. And I've been doing this shit for going on over 4 years, but we actually like each other. So it's going to be respectful. Now, having said that, we're men. We're men and we're opinionated. So what I do want to do is I want to keep it real. I want to keep it raw. Here is that safe space. Say it like you feel it. No, look, not everybody use all the colorful language that I do. So speak how you speak. But I do want you to be real tonight, give your real honest opinion. And in fact, what I decided not to do, I'm not going to even go around the dais and ask who's single, who married. That's irrelevant for tonight's conversation. Tonight, we are just men. That's what I want to ask of the group. We're just men. Speak on shit as men. Look, you're grown ass man. You know your situation, your scenario. You know what shit might get you in trouble, what shit you shouldn't comment on. I'm this. I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Right.
But I do want you to keep it real. And lastly, this is not a bashing women session.
Right.
So, ladies, when you
Right.
heard that term "bow to an empty throne," this is not about dissing you. This is about understanding you. This is about hoping that we're opening up a dialogue that you understand what we're trying to say, that we want things better. So I want to throw a scenario out there, and then I want somebody to speak on this. Simple question. Have you met this woman? Have you met this woman? Have you met that woman that she works hard? She makes good money. She's educated, got a master's degree, super intelligent, all of the qualities that we say we want in a woman: articulate, personable, well-read, interesting. But she's single. Or how about this woman? Active in church, faithful, good sister, church going woman, well dressed down to her knees, don't they, and then exposing herself. She dresses proper. She's on the church board. She attends church committees, and she's led by the Lord. She's just, what you was look for in terms of a capable wife, rock solid, and she's ready to marry. She's single too, brothers. How about that militant sister that's active on social media, that's woke? Woke, I said, that know what she's talking about, willing to challenge you at every step and hold her own. We see it on media shows. They can hold their own. And this is the woman that's got that street vernacular, but intelligence to go with it, sexy in her own right, powerful, let you know she's a strong sister. And she's single too. Fellas, why are these women single? Somebody tell me.
Woo! You came with a heavy one right there, brother.
Loaded question. Why these women single? And I could have went on. The hair on my arms was standing up because I noticed anybody who knows me, they know I love nasty, filthy, no good bitches. I love them by the pound. I can't wait till they put them bitches in cans so I can stack them in the cupboard. But there are a lot of good women out there too. Why these women are single? Fellas, why are they single?
Could it be by choice?
Speaks. Say what you.
It could be by choice. Also, it could be by the fact that maybe there's a intimidation factor.
Intimidation on what side?
Well, I'm talking about as far as men. Maybe we have a preconceived notion about how the way you're going to be moving. You know what I mean? Like when you made the example of the woman that's in church, maybe we're looking at it like she might be a little stiff or she might be a little boring.
Or too churchy.
Yeah, too churchy. Or if you're talking about the militant sister, maybe that might be just a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not matching that energy or matching what she's into. Maybe you thinking on your end like, yo, maybe she gonna think you a sucker, or maybe you're not really for the cause. So, or for that sister that's intelligent, and doing her own thing in the whole nine. For some brothers, that might be a little bit too much, but maybe they feel like they're lacking. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So when I'm saying intimidation, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on
I
those
got you.
different levels.
I got you. Good point. And maybe.
I agree with what Bert said, and I want to add to it though. I think most of them, a lot of them, don't really know what they want, or they want something now and they want something different next week.
Mm,
Like a lot of times, women tell us what they want, and we do it, and then they get bored with that, or it becomes too easy. There's no effort. They don't feel like there's any efforts being put into it, so they dynamic changes as to what they want, and the goal line keep changing. And so I think that's part of it. And then the dynamic of a lot of people aren't as connected to the Bible and church as they used to be, in my opinion. And so that whole idea of what a husband and wife is kind of whitewashed, not whitewashed, but kind of distorted now. And so they want pieces of it, and they expect pieces of it, and then there's pieces of it they absolutely don't want. And
very
so
good point.
trying to pick and choose which parts and pieces that
Very
they
good point.
want is a challenge for them and a challenge for us.
Very good point.
But with it, and the same, I think the same goes for us too.
Very good. I'm loving the points
Right.
you're making, because in today's society, you know, they tell us you can be everything. Whitney Houston say, I'm every woman, or Shaka Khan said it first. Well, how difficult is it to be every woman on the church board? And then,
Yeah.
you ain't dripping a drop when I stuff my dick down your throat. It's kind of hard to weigh the two, but okay. I'm throwing that out there.
um,
Fellas,
I,
why
I,
these women single?
I would say that the three women you just described, I would say one of the reasons why they probably are single are they make themselves unavailable. And when I mean make
Mm,
themselves unavailable, they are not putting themselves out there to catch a mate, so to speak. They
ooh,
basically think that God is going to send a mate to knock at their door and knock on their door and say, here your man is. So a lot of them are make themselves unavailable. And then out of those three women you described, I think they all have a level of independence where they kind of had this on their shoulder, like, I don't need no man. Or the church woman said, Jesus is my husband, that kind of thing, So those two are the main things I can say why those three women that you
okay.
explained, those are the possibilities of why those women are single.
Okay. Jay, let me let you in this conversation. Why you think I don't know if you came in at the back end, because I got some comments here that's going to open the conversation even more. Why you think these women are single, Jay, from your perspective?
I did. I came at the back end. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
I
you
can hear you,
good now.
but you're still kind of low, speaking low.
Okay, I'm about to talk louder. I just the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I agree with all the comments. It just I think okay, babe. I think there's just a variety of reasons why women choose to be single or are single. A lot of it could be because of just past experiences where they were damaged, and that saying hurt people, and they're gun shy. So it could be a host of reasons. I think it's different from each person, each individual, and
Absolutely.
oftentimes it could be the circle that they travel in. Oftentimes, misery loves company. So
I love it. All great points. And we're
Yeah,
going to dig into that even deeper.
that's good.
DMAP has some interesting comments. DMAP says, most women I know who are single want to mate and are not single by choice. I think they are single because they demand things that they don't even have to offer.
Mm,
Pack,
Ooh.
but don't ever go to the gym.
mm,
Making
mm,
six figures, but they themselves are unemployed.
mm.
And a lot
Mm.
of us, we raised to be single by single mothers, so we don't know how to be wives.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
that's one.
Wow.
That's all great points.
Oh,
Dang.
she got D, you killing it.
Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations of relationships and men, turning down good men for superficial
Another
reasons.
one.
Whoa.
And
D.
Wow.
the super fan herself has joined us, Miss Toria.
Hey,
She
what's
said,
up, Miss Tori?
good evening, Miss Toria.
What's
Good to
going
see
on?
you. And in case y'all was wondering who D
Hey,
Map is, that's Lady D.
Yeah, I
That's
I
Lady
knew who it
D.
was.
That's family right there.
She been
Daracel,
hiding.
Right.
always
Yeah,
on point, always
yeah.
on point. And I'm not even gonna share my views, but I want to introduce you to a view that's gonna open up a whole nother dialogue. And we're familiar with what happened recently in social media where the young lady, she went on Yana Van Zant, if I'm pronouncing her name correct, and she talked about the fact that Yvonne asked her, would she date a garbage man? And she said no. And that led to a whole nother conversation. The lady was invited to the Breakfast Club, and she doubled down on her explanation. And she said, it's time we talk about this shit, that she tired of us as black people, particularly as men, being mediocre, that we need to step our games up. And they was looking at her because they challenged her that you shitting on the regular folks, but she stood her ground. Well, folks, while these women are single, there's another opinion out there that I think is valid and worth hearing. You might not know who Carlos Miller is. He's on the show with Nick Cannon. And
yeah, I know who he is.
And he gave a take on the state of women. In this case, he was talking about Atlanta, but it opened up a much broader conversation that I think we need to have about women in general. I'm going to share my screen, and I want y'all to hear this. And then, so far, we've been talking polite. Ladies, gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Man.
It's about to get fucking real.
Oh boy. I need to go get me a drink.
It's about to get fucking real.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm gonna listen to this and then go get me a drink.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Give me a thumbs up when I hit play if you can hear this.
Okay. 85 South Show, and the two young ladies from the Poor Minds podcast that I've covered in the past. I've covered some of Carlos Miller's videos in the past. As usual, he keeps it real. And on this one, he's talking about dating in Atlanta and the nature of women being competitive with each other, and the fact that, fellas, you're the prize, man, and that's just what it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this clip, man, and I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this. Let's go.
Don't nobody like me because I keep it so real with you. Do you know how many pussies out here that don't nobody want? It don't matter how you dress it up or try to give it away. Don't nobody want it. We live in Atlanta. Look how many women out here got high quality pussy, the type you like. You ain't gonna be able to fuck them because you don't have time to meet them.
I'm too weak.
It's so much pussy in this city they can't possibly give it all away. You heard all the excuses women make for not being able to find a nigga in Atlanta. It's more niggas in Atlanta that like women than anything. It's you. It is you. Nobody cares how good you look, how successful you are. It is you. You just not the type of chick that niggas in Atlanta like. Move to San Antonio.
Not San Antonio.
You not the shit in Atlanta. You feel entitled to a nigga. Oh, I'm a good woman. Who validated this? Show me some notarized paperwork that proves what the fuck you're saying is true, ma'am.
Niggas in Atlanta be liking niggas too, but ain't nothing
Okay,
wrong
check
with
this out.
But ain't nothing wrong with that
This is
either.
why we need shit like this. You know the type of clown ass women in Atlanta? There's some fucking weird ass women out here, and don't nobody never talk about them. You know why? Because we too busy going to find ones who not weird. There's some weird ass ladies out here. And they be like, y'all be inviting women to y'all crib? No, do you know how many weird ass people I had to make sure they don't even follow me when I leave their ass tonight? Like, I hope I never see her again.
What makes one weird?
Okay.
Great question.
Some of these chicks out here are lame as fuck. They lame, and they do shit like they idolize fucking women on social media. They're like, don't nobody want to fuck with a bitch who got to look up to another bitch. You got a hero.
What is wrong with you?
That's weird. That's real.
No, but I
Don't no nigga want no follower ass bitch.
I'ma stop it right there, folks.
Yes.
I'ma stop it right there, folks. Yeah.
Ooh.
He said it. Now, it came from a comedian, and I want to talk about, does he have a point? And even though he was referencing Atlanta, and before anybody jump on it, I live in Atlanta. And yes, there's a lot of homosexuals in this motherfucker. This is Booty Month is coming up next month. Every hole that's out there gonna be plugged. Don't get me wrong. God bless you.
What is it, Stella Awards or something? This is the gospel?
No, this is the Gay Pride is coming up next month right here in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta, been here for 7 years. It's a lot of niggas that like dick and ass, but it's just as many niggas out here that like pussy. And there's a reason why there's a growing number of men that's saying fuck you and your pussy. And he has some takes on some of this stuff out there. And I want to know, what you guys think about some of the things he said. D-Map says she got her drink. Bell Development, whoa, what a party.
What up?
Friends?
What up?
Terrence, welcome.
What up, Terrence?
You know what I'm saying? And Terrence said is he lying, folks? He talked about maybe it's you. He asked the question. He said, because a lot of women say, I'm a good one. Who validated that?
That's the one right there. That's the one.
And then another one, how about women who aspire to be Queen Bee and Rihanna? He made a point that don't no man want no bitch that's a follower that's idolizing another bitch. Does he have a point, fellas? Because we said it the articulate way. He came straight with it. Let's talk about it.
No, I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to idolize anybody else. I want you to stand 10 toes down on what you believe and who you are. I don't want you to follow another woman because the fact of the matter is you don't know what she's doing in the closet. You don't know what she's doing behind the scenes or whether her man is, you know what I mean? That could be all a facade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure it's going to be vice versa. I mean, as far as a man, I'm sure you're not going to want me to follow some other man. You're going to want me to be a stand-up dude and follow my own principles and stand 10 toes down on what I believe, not on what whoever the other boy is out here, whatever social media person is out there. So, yeah, I do agree with that. I think that's just kind of weird. I don't want you to be looking up to somebody trying to act like them, and you don't even know how they are behind the scenes. You talking about Queen Bee and stuff like that? Look, you already know what Jay did, the whole nine, and look, she's still around.
Yeah.
She's still there. What's up?
Absolutely.
So what's really going on? So you got to go by your own. You got to go by your own beliefs and your own convictions and things like that, and not be found behind somebody else that you don't even know. You don't even know these people.
Even on that note, since Brother Bird addressed that, fellas, as men, and again, I ain't asked nobody on here to say what their status is. That's unimportant for tonight. We're just men. What do you think about this phenomena that women want to be other women? I have had for a long time, I've been saying something in my own personal opinion. When I look at social media in particular, all that big spider eyelashes and it looks that ain't for us. They don't put that shit on for us.
Yeah,
that's for other women to note, hey girl, you look fine. Blah, blah. Fellas, what do you think about the fact that when he brought that point up about how many women out here want to be somebody else? Please, somebody speak on this.
I think it gets really bad when they set their standards according to someone else, like a Beyonce or even the Instagram models. Their standards they match their standards with theirs. They want what they have. And you're right about the spider eyelashes and all that. Like I can't stand how I look on anybody. But it don't matter if I'm with a woman and I tell her it's ugly to me. She don't give a damn because she don't care about what I think.
It ain't for you. It ain't for you.
They don't care about making us happy about how they look at it, boy. It's all about some other chick out here, which I'm not even sure what did they gain. I guess there's a lot of insecurities that have not been dealt with a lot of people that are coming out now more as prevalent as social media gets, as it continues to grow. People insecurities are really showing of the validation that they need from folks, and they don't give a damn about the validation from us. They want it another way from us. They want it from other women.
Right.
That's right. Kenny, before you jump in, I want to get a couple of comments in real time. Bell Development says, I say all the time, if I go through another nasty breakup, I'm going to switch teams.
Yeah, just.
Okay.
I hear you, partner.
Oh, damn.
And look,
hey, teach his own.
TMM says he telling the truth. Social media has a chokehold on people that have them trying to keep up with everyone else and portrays this grand life that they don't have. Bell Development came back and said, if that adds, haha, and a couple of hey this and that, but all the ladies are speaking to each other. And Kenny and Jay, I want you to jump in this conversation. But D says men like real. Beyonce told everyone to leave their man when she cheats and stayed with hers. Fellas, jump in here. Jay or
Yeah, I'm
Kitty.
gonna have to agree with some of the comments. There was a time. I know, fellas, y'all can relate to this. There was a time when guys, they had to have the Cadillac and the rims and the gold chains, and a lot of women was like, I don't need all that. I want just a down to earth brother who's about his business. Well, it's like there's a role reversal now, and women are trying to be something that they're not. And most guys I know, they just want a real woman. We don't want. Jay-Z has Beyonce. I don't need Beyonce. I mean, it's nice to aspire to be. We all are trying to be a better version than ourselves. But when you trying to be something that you're not, that's a huge turn on. And most brothers I know, we just want somebody that's gonna take care of home, that's gonna love us. Basically, when the world's against me, when I come home, I know my ride or die is gonna be by my side. And that's what we're looking for. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Most guys
No,
that I deal
you're
with,
right.
they just want a real woman.
Super right.
We don't need all of that.
And I'm gonna double down on it in only the way that I would say it. Bitches, you ain't Beyonce. Get over it.
Right.
You're not
Right.
Rihanna. Whatever bitch that's out there that got a team of other bitches and gay men propping them up, you're not them. And you're not gonna be them. But guess what? That's okay. Now, when I say bitch, I say that lovingly. I love bitches and hoes. I say that in love. But you're not them. And to Jay's point, let's go back to when men did it with the Cadillacs. And Jay, now I want fellas, y'all to back me up. You know why men did drive? A comedian said it one time. He said, you know why a man drive Cadillac? Because you can't get all that ass in a Volkswagen. When we did do all those things, the purpose of it was to attract you.
That's
The reality is
that's what we do.
We would ride in a hoopty, but we're thinking you ain't gonna want to ride in a hoop. Every man on this panel has a nice place. You know why? Because when a woman come in there, we could lay around on a motherfucking mattress with a sheet pinned to the window. Right. But if you want a certain quality of woman, she not gonna have that.
Right. Exactly.
So that's where the game got twisted up in there. But Kenny, go ahead and speak on it, my brother.
I mean, I agree with all the brothers said, but I want to talk about the good woman comment Carlos Miller made, and I think that's key to women out here. Don't tell me you're a good woman, because just like you said, unless you got that notarized, I don't know you. So don't lead with, I'm a good woman. I know I should have somebody. Well, not necessarily so, because just because you was a good woman for one brother don't mean you a good woman for the next one. You might not be the woman for him. So let's stop using this good woman as a badge and a barometer on I should have him in just because I'm a good woman. That's subjective. And who told you were good in the first place?
And fellas, go ahead. No.
And just because you stayed with a no good nigga that want to be thug, that was slanging and wasn't making no money, and stayed with him all through those crazy times of taking time for him, all this crazy shit they do, don't mean you're a good woman. That means you're an idiot, in my opinion. Some women think that's a badge of honor that they stay with a horrible nigga, that they're a good woman.
Right.
I'm gonna state another wake up call.
I know you can relate to this, Black. That they would say, if you have to start off by saying that I'm a man, you
already lost.
You already lost the game.
You already lost.
Looking for validation already.
I'm a good woman. I'm already looking sideways. That's kind of a red flag. Like your actions speak louder than anything you can ever say to me.
Exactly. Me too.
Once again, piggybacking off Jay, and again, I'm out here I done that dirt, still doing a little dirt. One thing I can tell you about that, that's why I led with the part you missed, Jay. I introduced us to the show to the good woman that's out there, and I asked a simple question: why are these women single? If they're so good, if you got this articulate, intelligent, educated woman that's that, why is she single? The church-going woman who on the committee and being led by God, why is she single? That down-ass sister who woke and understands the struggle and the revolution, and she can speak to that shit, why is she single? The reasons being maybe it's you, because to your point, who validated that you was good? There's some beautiful women out there that go home lonely every night, but they won't look in the mirror because maybe it's you. And I want to read a few comments. Hannah asked a question. Why can't y'all believe we want to look good for ourselves? You can look good and keep your ass in the house. Well, sweetheart, I would answer that by simply saying, of course, there is a modicum of the way you carry yourself for yourself. That goes without saying. Any decent woman, you're gonna get up and brush your teeth and all that kind of stuff. But think about it like this. I'm gonna reference Cat Williams. He said, how many men out here kicking a woman out of bed because she got a few stretch marks on her? How many men kicking a woman out of the house because her eyelashes ain't 6 inches long? She ain't tall enough. She too short. She got a little fat on her stomach. We don't give a fuck about that shit. Y'all care about that shit, and y'all judge each other. You hate when we put a scale to you, but y'all far more harsh on each other than we ever are, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about, that the extra mile you're willing to go because you want to have just the right look for each other. D-Map says, for some women, it carries more weight when a woman gives another woman a compliment. And therein lies part of the problem right there. Because damn what the man thinks that I want the compliment from her. Victoria says, I know a couple of single women in Georgia, and they have told me when they go out to the club, the women are fake. They want to be something they are not. Women are not being themselves. Well, I don't know if you caught the part, Ms. Torrey, where he was talking specifically about Atlanta, but I think this could certainly apply to New York, to Dallas, to Little Rock, any big city, I'm sure. You know how many bad bitches walking around here, and that when you walk out the door, you're not special. The truth of the matter is, when we say we're looking for something real, it's so many carbon copies of the same look that it's not special anymore. Everybody got a big fake ass and big titties, and everybody got the spider earrings on and the fake hair and everything. We're hearkening back to the days when a woman done her own hair and just carried herself as real, but we don't see that anymore. So that's what we're talking about, some of these things. D says, everything that men do is to impress women. Do you guys? There you go.
That's true.
You go.
That's facts. Yeah.
And she says, good women have men. Ladies, you've heard the term, the power behind the throne. I'm gonna go to the top of the motherfucking heap. Do you think Obama would have been as popular and as well liked if it wasn't for Michelle? Even if you know their story, she pushed him to those heights.
Right.
To shine that way, because he got faults like any other, and she's letting the world know he's got faults. But he ascended to the highest level because he had a good woman behind him, propping him up. And to your point, Jay, at ride or die, I got your back when nobody else don't. All the other shit that's being said out there, she got his back. What's going on, Candace from the candy shop?
Hey, what's up, family? What's up, Candace?
You know what I'm saying? So these are some things. Now, I want to play another little clip from this same thing, because the guy that's posted this video, he brought up a really good point that I want to drive home, and I want to share my screen again and let you hear. He makes two valid points, I think, that I want you guys to hear. So let me share my screen again. And in case you don't know, this dialogue, it's taken off. That little session, he said it's opened up a broader conversation because he said it's so raw, but that comedians could get away with saying it. Well, I ain't no comedian. I'll say shit out like that. Okay. Let's listen to a little bit more, but this is now from the guy who posted the video. I don't know his name.
This is what women will constantly say. Fellas, don't believe the hype. There are tons of lonely women out there. Women going to seminars, women go to bed alone at night, women that deal with certain dudes. In Atlanta, if you're black, there are tons of women out there, tons of successful women. And some of them are weird, some of them are lonely, and some of them have to compete. So that's the place where you should go at. He mentioned some things because women tend to think that they are special. In particular, you are special, that you're your own individual, but you feel like you're the only one, like there aren't more women that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And you still feel like you don't have to compete, which is strangely enough, in a city like Atlanta, you still don't feel like you have to compete. you'll be like, okay, you'll look at this woman, I'll look at this woman and say he still needs to do this. You have to bring more. Scarcity creates value. If a man has an abundance of women and he has an abundance mindset and he doesn't have to put up with certain BS, and you're just coming with, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, blah, 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 he could just go on to the next one.
Stop right there. Is that not a reality check, folks?
Well, I believe Kevin Samuels was saying something pretty much on the same lines. And I know when you that name right there triggers women real big.
It does.
But that's what Kevin Samuels was saying pretty much.
I want to zero in on that part where he said scarcity creates value.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Somebody speak on that, please, because I know that this didn't just hit just me.
Well, if you think about it, anything that's rare or on the that's about to be extinct has value. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I hope y'all, if you put down your pipe to smoke, when you come,
yes, sir.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to men, good men, we're becoming an extinct species, which makes us very, very valuable. So I would suggest that that for the ladies who are listening, think about that. There are a lot of good men that are still out there, but they have plenty of options.
That's the point that I truly wanted to drive home. Another thing I've been saying for a long time, ladies, and I don't mean this to in any insensitive way. The numbers is just not in your favor.
Right.
And so the point that Jay is making about the scarcity bringing value, look, we acknowledge that there's men out here who don't want no pussy. Pure and simple. When they look at you, they call you a fish. They don't want no parts of that snatch. None. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there are men that are flat out taken. Men who are in prison. So the pool of men that's out there, remember how we said at the beginning of the show, the loudest voices the one get heard? Not every man out here is doing wrong, running the street. There's guys that's going home at night that work hard, and I can sit here. I'm not going to put nobody on the spot, but I can tell you what, every man you see on this panel right here got a job. Ain't no hustle here. Got a decent place. That we done this street shit. We done the club shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot more that's, Jay, you speak to this. Is there not a growing number, not just Jay, any guys, fellas, y'all live in Texas, in North Carolina. Is there not a growing number of men who are not gay, who are single, and who are just saying, right now I'm just doing me. I don't understand what's going on out here. And right now I'm going to focus. Is there not a growing number of men that's saying that?
Yes. And I can say probably men between the ages of 40 and mid-50s is probably the biggest group that's saying that, because a lot of them have already been there, done that. They had a whole different position in their life. It's like either we're gonna be teammates, we're gonna work together, or I don't even want to deal with the headache. I'd rather be married to my entrepreneurship or whatever it may be. If I can find me a little something when I get a little horny, that's what I do. Send her on her way. So yeah, it is kind of like that. And I also want to say one thing too about the competition. Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to dating and women, I think they look at competition totally different. They feel like they don't have to compete. Whereas men, we grew up knowing that whatever we do, dating, whatever, you're going to have another dude you're going to probably have to compete with. A lot of women feel like that which they are the prize, but they feel like that they don't have to compete. And I say that meaning put yourself in a position to date. And what that means is you're going to have to compete against another woman. And it is what it is. But a lot of women don't want to do that.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear
back to Jay's point about scarcity. Ladies, you flooded the market with so much pussy until it's hard to find value. Like Carlos Miller said, you know how much pussy is out here? Fellas, you tell me if I'm lying. Is it easier, fellas, to go out there and get some pussy or get a gun?
Oh, pussy, of course. But I want to talk about the flip side of that, though, like the scarcity thing. You said women don't have to compete. However, they're flooded with inboxes and advances at every turn, all day, every day, from guys that maybe know good guys or good guys
True.
you don't know. So I think most of them probably, I don't know what that does to their ego or what to them, but many of them are flooded. Like especially on dating sites, you can't even. It's like you trying to wiggle through the crowd to get to it to even get their ear because there's so many requests coming into them all day when they go to the gas station. They do this, so they start just kind of being kind of. A lot of them be rude to all levels because they so used to be so sick of being reached out to.
Right. Yeah, they do. You're right about that.
I think that has to be factored in to it. So of course they think they pussy is gold because everybody coming at them all the time. Even
therein lies, but I love that. I'm glad you ended on that statement. Yeah. But therein lies the true disconnect. And I'm gonna keep it as honest as I know how to say it. It's okay to be selective, and I get it. From the time you was little, every man you know want to fuck you. We're men, but all your pussies ain't gold. This misconception out there that just because you got the trap between your legs, it is not. It literally is not. I just this holiday weekend, I just had one in here. You know, she wasn't super special. Pussy was slaw. She couldn't fuck, couldn't halfway suck no dick, and I had to put this bitch up out of here. You know, and believe it or not, that happens more often than you would ever imagine. But yeah, I get that. But you know what is inbred in us from kids, though, to the point that Kenny said, we're taught as little boys that we have to compete. You know, you have to stand out as an individual. If one bus go by, there's another come along. You know, but somewhere in there, and I don't say I pretend I understand the psychology behind it, but it is a false security to think that you don't have to compete, especially when you all look the same. Yeah, because where is you standing out as an original? So I want to get to a couple of questions here real quick, a couple of things before I get too far. D says also as a woman, if all you bring to the table is pussy, then you have nothing to offer most guys. And so that's another part of it that, Brother Lamb, look, yes, we're gonna ask for some pussy, but I'll share this with you. You know who I married? You know the woman I married who didn't give me the pussy. You know the girls, the women that turned into girlfriends, the one that didn't give me the pussy, that had a certain standard to make me wait. Because guess what? If I can get the pussy, why would I feed you steak when you're comfortable with eating 3-day-old church's chicken? What the fuck I'm gonna give you steak for? You know what I'm saying? Toria says, but Kevin Samuels was so disrespectful to women. It was not always what he said. It was his delivery. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. But that's one of those things I also say too. God bless his soul. That where you shoot the messenger. Sometimes we don't like the package that a present come in, but the gift is still a gift if the shoe fits. You know what I'm saying? We got a question to the panel. Let me ask y'all: do y'all think there are more good men available than good women?
No, I don't.
That's subjective.
I think it's very few of us.
I think it's subjective, but I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. I think it's subjective.
I think it's very few of us, but I think the women don't go for it. I think they go for niggas they know, or the bad boys, the ones that they got reputations, the thugs. I think women love that. They want this special mode of thug but it's gonna be lovey-dovey with me. Thug, whip ass, shoot, whatever, but it's gonna be this little kitten with me. They think that they want that to exist in guys that they would.
I would like to know what is her definition of a good man or a good woman.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So we can have this conversation.
So. Very, very, very good question, Bert. I'll let you chime in. I don't want to leave no man behind on that question. Two said it's subjective. Jay want to know what is your definition of a good man. Because to your point, she came back and said, "Who said y'all are good men? Let me see the notarized documents."
That's a good point.
That's a good point. That's a good point. She's right.
She right on it.
Yeah.
I mean, right, but I mean, if you want to talk about what's a good woman or what's a good man, it's a man that holds on to his values, a man that's willing to take care of himself, take care of his family. You know what I mean? Fight for his, stand on his own too. You know what I'm saying? Independent, the whole nine. And reverse, if you want to give it to a woman, it's the same deal. But we have to complement each other. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a good man, again, we're gonna travel back to what we were talking about before. If you're a good man, you're a good woman. I ain't gotta tell you that I'm a good man, I'm a good woman. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna
Right.
see it.
Right.
I don't gotta go here and toot my own horn and say, hey, listen, I'm this, I'm that. You're gonna see it. You're gonna experience it. It's gonna be a whole experience. Like, oh damn, he a real one. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a woman, all this bringing to this proverbial table and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? It's going to show. You're going to bear that fruit. Whatever it is that you are, it's going to come forth. Just like as a man, we're going to bring that forth. You're going to already see it. I don't got to talk about it. I'm going to be about it.
Okay. Very good points, folks. And I'm not going to not answer it myself. D says also it's true that a lot of men are attention hungry with social media. They realize they have options that may not want to be tied down to one woman. That's Again, true. I think I posted on my page before where the guy has his mattress on the floor and he still got 3 bitches trying to get to him. So, that's why I use the analogy. Why give your steak, when you're willing to eat old chicken, So to that point, Tim, I'm sorry. I think they're more good men. Now, I'm going by my own subjective standard. When I look at what's happened in the dating scene, particularly over the last 20 years, now it's true. Jay asked the real question, who's determining what good is? So right. I'm only going on my standard. And anybody, I'm an opinionated SOB and I'm going to die this way. Bury me with my motherfucking boots up, hanging in the air. That's how I get down. Having said that, I think the fruit has fallen a lot further for women than for men. Now, this is coming from a confirmed chauvinist. Having said that, when I look at what I term as good out there, and in terms of a good man, I still see a same hustle and work value from men. I still see an interest in wanting to be in a committed relationship. I've said this for a while. I think the tables have turned. I think what I see from women now, they don't even want that. They really don't. I think what I see from them now, and again, the carbon copyism of what's happening out in the scene, that's what has me at this place where I don't even understand y'all anymore. I really don't. And I bowed out of the game. Now, there's people out there right that say, well, good riddance, I'm, look at me, I'm fat or everything. It ain't just fat fuckers like me who's saying that. It's other men. Kevin Samuels said it best. So even if you look at the brothers out there with the salaries, the car, the house, or whatever, what women are asking for, and they're not bringing it themselves. So I guess I'm biased, and that's how I feel about it. So now I'm saying I'm right, Right. Shivhana says, do y'all even know what we really want, or do y'all just speculate? Great question.
Great question.
Well, I speculate based on my personal experiences and what I've learned at the women that I've either approached or entertained or are friends with or know what they've said. That's all I can go by. But that's just a small sample.
My question, Hannah, is, do you even know what the fuck y'all want?
and I'll piggyback off of Lamar. I think no, we don't. And it's all based on each one of our own individual experience with women. No, I don't know, because every woman's what they want is totally different. Just like what every man wants is totally different. Right. So yeah, we all speculate. Even women, y'all speculate on what men really want.
And I think that goes without saying, but I said it that way in a raw way because what you say you want changes.
Yeah.
And in many cases, what you say you want, you're lying. You're fucking lying. You're fucking lying. I'm not talking about you, Hannah. I don't want your husband jumping on me. I'm not talking about you, baby. I'm talking about women. That's why I said we did this to men and women. But you're fucking lying. When you come out and you say it, you type it, you get on, I'm looking for, you're a fucking lie. That everything you say you want, you're fucking lying in most cases, because that's what 90% of the pussy I get is from bitches who claim they know what they want. You know what's changed depending on how many drinks I pour down your throat. Stop it. So how the fuck you expect me to know what you want when you don't know what you want?
See, now see, Shahana, she really started some stuff tonight.
No, but we said we was gonna be real.
I'm saying Hana is. You read the other comment.
The candy shop asked, The candy shop asked, lately it seems that men are upset about women having preferences and they want to tell women they are not worthy of their preferences. What about men who have inflated egos?
That's valid. That's a valid question too, Candace. It's valid and it's truth. And that goes back to you. If what you want, you have to be what you want, both men and women. If you say you want your woman to be this certain way physically, Negro, you can't be not having like a 12. You can't be like 235, 40 pounds, got high blood pressure, and you ain't bringing what you need to bring to the table. So it's all about you bring what you want. If that's what you're looking for, your preference is, you got to also represent that as well, in my opinion.
I think that this whole thing is just see, and remember how we started off and how like we were talking about the minority and those with the biggest mouth and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything has just become so janky right now, and you're making it too deep. You know what I'm saying? You look for what you want. You look for what you want. You read through. You go through the process. That's the whole thing. Everybody don't want to go through the process. Everybody want to go ahead and they want to just meet that one person and that's it, blow your mind and that's it. And sometimes it just don't go that way. Sometimes you got to go through a process to find that person that you really want. We up there talking about inflated egos. Yeah, you're going to run into some women with inflated egos. You're going to run into some men with some inflated egos. Okay. But then also you're going to run into some good-ass women and you're going to run into a good-ass man. But I think we're just thinking too deeply now. You know what I mean?
Okay. I agree with that.
We need to simplify things and just go ahead and like, if he's for you, great. If he's not, keep it moving. If she's for you, great. If she's not, keep it moving. Who cares what she said, whether you her cup of tea or whether she's not your cup of tea. That's your own personal preference. But there's somebody out there for you that's going to compliment you. Right. But it seems like when we don't find that person, then all of a sudden the whole female species, all of a sudden they all bad. And then if it's the male, then all the men are bad. And that's what I'm saying. It just seems like these people don't know how to handle rejection.
Yeah.
Okay.
We make it too difficult.
That's a part of the game.
Right.
Okay. You know Jay, you wanted to add something. Go ahead, my brother. Jay?
No, I agree with Brother Bert. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with guys having an issue with women having preferences. I guess I'm old school because most guys I hang with, you might not like me. You might like Black. You might like Lamb, you might like Kendrick, you might like Bert. If that's your cup of tea, then so be it. We're not mad about that.
No, we're not.
We're not mad. You know, most mature brothers. Now, I can't speak for the ones that are immature,
right?
Disrespectful to women and have that mindset. So that's the type of brother you don't deal with. I can't relate to that type of brother. But most mature brothers that are about something, they don't really have an issue with women having preferences.
Not at all.
The ego. Again, that goes back to, I would say, again, brothers that just really still trying to find out who they are. But you know, if you're in the dating game, you look for something real, and you run across that brother who know who he is, and if you know who you are, yeah, I guess I would say I have an ego because I know who I am, I know what I'm about, I know my value. But at the same time, if there's a good woman in my presence, my company, she's gonna get treated like a queen in my presence. Okay. When I was dating, Black and I were out there. When you hung out with us, Black, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't want for nothing.
Not a single thing.
We didn't. We're gonna treat you very, very well.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I don't know that. I hear you, Candace. Maybe you have to elaborate on that. But like I say, a lot of real brothers, they don't really have an issue with you having preferences.
I don't. I'm with you. Jay. I don't.
So let me answer as well. And I'll move on to something else. Love the question, Candace. Is a bullshit question. In my take, and it's not being disrespectful to you, but it's loaded with things that just aren't accurate. To Jay's point, I start the back part of it. Men who have inflated egos, I think we're supposed to have inflated egos. That's what makes us a man. When I walk outside this door, I don't have no choice but to have an ego as a black man because of who I am. And especially if I'm stepping to you as a woman because of what you demand from me. I can't afford to give you a bad dick report because then you're going to shoot me down. But you can lay there like a dead fish, not you personally, baby, and not give your all, and it's okay. I think it is inherent in men to have an ego. And then as far as preferences, Jay spoke about that. And my thing is, I promise you, like he said, mature brothers, that's okay. Men have a certain code that we genuinely want to see another man find somebody good. I spend every week on this show lauding my favorite couple, that he has found that one. And I'm looking for that. I don't want her. And I would never do anything to disrespect him or her. My boy sitting over here, he's found that one. I think men, we genuinely are okay, because from boys, we get turned down. We've learned to handle rejection from being little kids. The difference is that's an educated, articulate way that to going back to what Carlos said, that it's maybe not the preferences, maybe it's you. And I'm talking about you personally, sweetheart. But my thing is, I don't think real adult, mature men care about you having preferences. If anything, I think we want you to have a discriminating taste. That's okay. That's attractive. We don't mind that. But I don't think real men are upset because of that, in any kind of way. Look, folks, I know this conversation could have gone on in so many different ways, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This wasn't designed to any answers. I hope that this is not bashing women, but I hope it's opening up the dialogue that we got a long way to go. The comments are steadily pouring in. There's no right time to do this show because we on different time zones. I could go on for another hour. I want to share something with you guys really quickly. There was a second part that we never even got to get to in this conversation, which I always say maybe we should do a part 2 to this, because there's an entire second part we never even get to, because I was going to cover with you guys some of the top reasons that black men say that they don't approach black women. Black women aren't in style. We could have talked about that.
Man, we
could have talked about that. Why we date outside our race. We could have talked about how black women, the perception is that y'all not fun enough. Y'all too fucking serious about everything. We could have talked about your fucking attitudes and that look of simply not wanting to be bothered. Brother Lamb is shaking his head. Yes, you get bombarded by dick every day, but you know what it's turned y'all into? Unapproachable. Because we're afraid to even open a door for you based on the fact that look, don't you even come near me. We could have talked about how maybe some of you bitches, and I mean that with love, are not supportive enough. See, you want to tell a narrative about, the black man this, black man that. Some of you might fall in that category too, that you don't support. Lip service. Here's another one that I could have got a lot of mileage out of this one. Sexually inhibited. What you won't do, there's 10 bitches out there that will do.
Man.
How you may be too damn demanding and too picky. The bitch from the TLC group, for years she had a list out here in Atlanta about what she wanted in a man. She got her white brother. Now she said everything she always was looking for. You lying bitch, you. And we could have talked about being too insecure. You walk around here with your ass on your shoulders and a big flat hat on because you got a college degree. We done said this many times. I don't give a fuck about your degree. Fuck you and your degree. You know what I'm saying? With all that degree, some of you are still too fucking insecure to even be with you. How are we gonna know what you want? Because you don't know what the fuck you want. You don't trust your damn self. Tasha says part 2 next week. We might just have to do that.
And should I tell you, think you can put together we probably the women.
I would love it. I would love to hear what Shantae says. Black women are not supportive of black men. And I love the 3 question marks behind it, because y'all like to stand on that y'all support us to a fault. And some of you do. But I got news for you, in my opinion, Miss Shantae. It's just as many bitches out there that's not supportive at all. They'll say all the right shit, and when you turn your back, them bitches ain't worth the spit it, take the cuss them. But I digress.
Let me just add my one little thing that I said at the beginning. And to the ladies that's been watching, listen, this wasn't, again, like Black said, we're not here to
not
bash.
bashing you.
We're just here to open up the dialogue between black men and black women. And I would say this, both of us, listen to understand and not listen to respond. You might not like some of our comments, but try to understand where we're coming from as black men. And we'll listen to you. And we may not agree with what some of you women say, or your comments, how you think. But I'm listening to understand you, and I'm not listening to respond to one up you and be right. So let's try to do that a little bit better with black men and black women.
And
listen
I want
to understand and not to respond.
Absolutely, I want to honor this comment because it's so filled with the right things. Hannah says we support y'all funky ass. That's why we all tuning in. I'm gonna tell you what I love about that so much, and that's why ain't nothing like a black woman. That's why I'm having this conversation, because I'm only gonna speak for me on this, because you're right. It's nothing like a black woman, because y'all are the most educated women on the face of this planet.
Yes, sir.
Y'all carrying the world on your shoulders. That's why I say we're not bashing y'all.
Yes, sir.
But we got problems between us, and you do support. And I can say for this show right here, and I bet you Lamb and Kenny can say the same thing, 90% of the support is from women.
It is.
It's from women.
I studied the stats. Yes, 90% of TFG as a whole viewers.
It's women. It's women.
Age 40 to 70.
There you go.
Women.
Yep.
It's women. So for that, so Hannah, you nailed it. So that's why, again, excuse my colorful language. Y'all know I'm a damn fool and then some. You know, this shit come out of my mouth. But don't get it twisted in any stretch of the imagination. I love all of the women that support this show and TFG in general, the sports shows. It's nothing like it. And I do this. I've been doing this for 4 years because I want to see you guys. And absolutely. Big Bag, don't let him cancel me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what I would invite you ladies to do, because the content is so sensitive, do me a favor in support of that. Share this. Tell somebody, please. Tell somebody to start watching TFG. You ain't got to watch my show. I'm an acquired taste, you know. I go down your throat in a different kind of way than some of the other shows, but tell them to support TFG in general. I had to sneak that. I like being nasty, but y'all just don't know I have to keep all this shit hold in every day. But on a serious note, tell somebody for real. You guys have been. We call Toria the super fan because she's at every show. She's blasting on every show. I ask you guys, you got a sister, you got a cousin, you got a friend, you got an aunt. Tell somebody, if nothing else, to tune in to TFG, to subscribe, because you do get this kind of content. And I tell you what, I would be more than happy to facilitate a show with all women. Or you can get, matter of fact, my co-host could facilitate it if I can get her to do it. I would be glad to tune in to hear what you guys got to say.
Yeah,
but what it speaks to is we got a long way to go. But I wanted to do it because we got to get there some kind of way. Because guess what? Unlike a comment that was made earlier, I ain't switching to the other side. I might have got a bad piece of pussy this weekend, but it was still pussy. So I'm not switching to the other side.
Oh,
man.
I'll just say it. Folks, happy hump day. Hannah, you're right. We might not be ready for y'all, but we gonna get ready for y'all. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting this platform. Thank everybody for tuning in to this show. For real tonight. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. My panel. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love
y'all
you back,
kept
Black
it honest.
Man.
Y'all kept it real. And again, Mr. Lamb Liberty, that's the brainchild and innovator. This is what you get, and this is just one of the shows. So please support the platform all over social media. Absolutely, we appreciate you guys. So look, we're on the other side of our week. Everybody go somewhere, have a drink, peace out, talk about this shit, tell somebody, subscribe. We love you. Until next time, it's been real.
All right.